everyone, welcome back to my channel, Warren Canonigo, and you're watching the FYI sessions where Filipino learners can savor bite-sized English lessons with me, teacher Warren, and my references, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary and Print-to-Sol Grammar and Composition book by Gary Ferlini and co-authors. Today, the core of our activity is to study examples of idiomatic expressions. What is an idiom? An idiom is an expression in language use wherein the meaning is drawn from its connotative or its figurative meaning and not from its denotative or literal meaning. Okay, so later on, I will tell you the reasons why people use idiomatic expressions. And we will get to know the standard or classic interpretations of the 10 idiomatic expressions that I will show you later. But before that, let's first study the consonant sound of t, 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 represented by the lowercase letter t in the Merriam-Webster Dictionary Pronunciation Guide. Again, this is the consonant sound t, as in entourage, ghosting, slate, anti-hero, and tattletale. Okay. What is an entourage? An entourage is a committee or a group of people whose task is to assist and support or to render services to a particular person, usually royalty, a politician or a statesman or a stateswoman, or a celebrity, or whoever they owe service renditions to. So for example, in the case of the bride and the groom, so the entourage is composed of maid of honor, the best man, the groomsmen, the bridesmaids, the flower girls, and the bearers, etc. And in the case of, let's say, a politician, it will be a caregiver, the secretary, and subordinates. And for a celebrity, most probably we have makeup artist, hairstylist, wardrobe assistant, or vocal coach or acting coach. So it depends. Or we have the yaya, or what we call the nanny, or the helper. That's entourage. Entourage, not entourage. It's entourage, Z-H. Okay, next is ghosting. Ghosting. Now, if you check the dictionary, the first meaning or first definition of ghosting is a double image on a television screen. As an idiomatic expression, or in other terms, informal use of the word ghosting, it refers to a sudden or an abrupt disconnection of communication by someone without even explaining why. So that is ghosting. So a lot of people have already been victimized by ghosting acts. So that is ghosting. Next is slate. The meaning of slate that I would like to highlight in this episode is its meaning being the other term of the word clapboard in making films. Film slate or a clapboard is used to give information about that particular scene or shot during a shooting. Okay, so that's a film slate. The slate has also become one of the most popular icons of the entertainment industry. In fact, it was used as it was used in the cover of a contemporary novel by Daniel Steele. The title of the novel was Secrets, and it's about life of celebrities or stars behind the camera. So it's very fitting. Okay. Next is anti-hero. An anti-hero is a fusion of the protagonist and the antagonist or the villain. So it's the lead character, it's the primary character in a work. But at the same time, that character also has the qualities of a villain or antagonist. So that is why it's called anti-hero. And I can give you two perfect examples of anti-heroes. That would be Walt Disney's Maleficent and Ruby. Okay, they're examples of perfect anti-heroes. Okay, next we have tattletale. A tattletale is a person, usually a child, who reports secretly or secretly reports to someone what another person has done. For example, usually if you tease or if you bully your younger siblings, they have the tendency definitely to tattletale. They will become tattletales because if they feel helpless and they can't bear it anymore, they will run to your parents, to whoever is or are adults in the house, and then they will tattletale and they become tattletale. Okay. Okay, so again, we have T represented by lowercase t as in entourage, ghosting, slate, anti-hero, and tattletale. Okay, so let's now have the 10 examples of idiomatic expressions that I have prepared for you today. And then we will also get to know the classic interpretations of these idiomatic expressions. Always remember that although idiomatic expressions are drawn from the connotative, figurative, or subjective meanings of the expression, but the understanding of the literal meaning or the denotative meaning is really, really important. It's crucial because even before you could read between the lines, even before you could go beyond the lines, it's important that you have understood the basic meaning of the words used in the idiomatic expressions. Okay, I hope I made myself clear. So let's have, first example, we have a hot potato. A hot potato. According to my research, a hot potato means a controversial topic or a situation which is awkward to deal with. That's a hot potato. Let's say, for example, if you go to Japan, well, based from my experience, Japanese women are not really comfortable talking about age. For them, it's rude for someone to ask them their age. So it's a hot potato. You know, a discussion about a woman's age is a hot potato in Japan. Another example, Kate Winslet, a prominent Hollywood star, a British actress, said in one of her interviews, in one of the talk shows she guested in, she said that in Britain, it is really a taboo if you talk about money or a person's source of income. They're not really comfortable talking about that. So it's a hot potato. Know your socioeconomic status, your financial status in life is a hot potato. That culture. So that's a hot potato. Next is Herculean task. Now, Herculean is from the word Hercules, and we all know Hercules is a demigod, and the use of the prefix demi suggests that he is half mortal, half ordinary person, and half god. And that is, according to mythology, the source of his extraordinary strength. A strength which is actually more powerful compared to the strength of an ordinary person or a mortal. And so when you say Herculean, is up in the air. Up in the air. If you're up in the air, meaning you're floating and you're not settled because you have not landed yet. So up in the air means that you have not made up your mind or you have not made up a final decision. That is up in there. You're still floating. You're still weighing things out. You're still confused. You're still in this, how do you call this? Uh, quandary. Quandary is a great confusion. If you don't know what to do, you don't know which one to choose. You don't know which one you would settle in as a decision. That is up in the air. Okay, next is walk the talk. Walk the talk. So the word talk in the idiomatic expression, we can already understand that this that a person who convinces someone or who motivates or encourages someone to do something should also do it herself or himself so that he or she would be more credible to the people that he or she is motivating or encouraging. And that's really true. More often than not, we follow or we give the respect that a person needs if we can really attest for ourselves, if we can really witness that that person is really capable of what he or she is asking us to do. But sometimes if you need the proof, then you tell the person you have to walk the talk first before we follow you. Okay. Okay, the next is we have hands down. Hands down. Hands down. From the gesture itself, we can understand that hands down is an assertion that there is no more competition, that you have great admiration and respect for a competitor, that you feel like somebody won already and that there's no more competition, and that you have already surrendered and recognized and acknowledged that that person is already the winner, the victor, or the champion. Hands down. Next is breaks the bank. From the word bank, we can say that the, the interpretation would include money or finances. Yes, breaks the bank. Breaks the bank means very expensive. Yeah, that it breaks the bank. So if you hear someone say, this gown broke my bank, it means that that gown is ridiculously expensive. You know what? For some reason, this idiomatic expression breaks the bank reminds me of what Senator Chief Escudero said in one of the interviews he guested in his wife's vlog, Heart Evangelist. gap between May and December. And from the word affair, it means an erotic or a romantic relationship between two people who have a wide age gap. And it's called a May-December love affair. For example, let's say the male lover is 67 years old and the female lover, let's just say spouse or the wife, let's just say 31. So that's a May-December affair. And the final example for today's episode, we have cry over spilled milk. Cry over spilled milk, meaning you are making a big thing or you are grieving so much on something that already happened. That's crying over spilled milk. And I should say, if something already happened, then it's really normal to grieve. There is always a stage of grieving, and there is always a stage of unloading yourself of the emotional baggage, you know? Crying is therapeutic to an extent. But then after that, you have to realize the mistake that you did and make sure, do everything in your power to make sure you don't do the mistake anymore. You just have to move on. Okay? And that will definitely make you stronger and a wiser person in the future. Okay? So to know more about idiomatic expressions, you can always do further research, and of course, you use it as a second language speaker. It's really a challenge for us to sometimes understand native speakers, especially if they use idiomatic expressions in the conversation. But through practice, through research, through hard work and dedication, you can definitely identify if a word or a phrase is used denotatively or connotatively. Okay? So thank you so much for being with me in this episode. I'll see you next time. Bye!